Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Erich McElroy. Good evening, and welcome to the show where the two of us, as comics who are, shall we say, underemployed at the moment, under a semi-lockdown in the United Kingdom, will take on problems and we will solve them. It's right there on the tin. We look at problems that you've sent us. We look at problems that we found ourselves. One of the problems we've found today is that because of other commitments, we came together late, and I realized my shoulders are about, a foot higher than yours right now? I think it's true. I look taller, which is nice.
I mean,
you're like,
but to be fair, without giving away too much backstage info, there has never been an episode where you haven't turned on the webcam and gone, do I need to raise the webcam a bit? Like every... And we're on 100 episodes of this every single time.
It's just because I'm a little insecure about my height. So, because I am in real life just a smidge shorter than you are. So,
you don't have to, one time you don't have to worry about your height. We're very. I do these shows. Do you not do these shows sat down? You should take a seat, mate.
I'm standing in a hole. It feels like it anyway. But yes, so we fixed that problem. That was first off. You see, those are the kind of problems we can solve. Problems that we create ourselves. But thank you for joining us. What you can do as you settle in is you got the YouTube link up there. That is the best place to hang out for chat because we keep the closest eye on YouTube chat. But you can chat to us if you're watching on Facebook, on Twitter, on other platforms that I don't even understand. And we do see those comments come through. So you can send us problems or just chat as we take on some stories. And of course, when you're on the YouTube channel, you can subscribe as well, which is nice. If you're on Facebook, you can just hit the share button and let other people know that you're watching this as well. Or maybe you don't want to. Maybe you feel a deep sense of shame. There's no pressure from us. Also, as we go through as underemployed comedians, if you decide that this is meritorious work that you're enjoying, you are welcome to purchase us a Ko-fi or a drink or a car.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel comfortable with, and for however you're doing. I mean, there is that guy who made $20 million on selling PPE to the UK government. If he's watching, chuck us some love. So just a thought, since you got 20 million. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Steve, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, let me try and fix the problem of the vaccine. Because, like I say, the vaccine, it turns out there are more than one vaccine now. So this time last week, we were doing some stuff about the fact that Pfizer, the Viagra people, made a 90% effective vaccine for coronavirus. Then there's another company that's made one that's 95% effective. Oh, so don't go yet. I'm going to wait for the fourth one, which will be 105% effective. Boom. That's how I make sure I don't get the COVIDs.
That's the science I like.
But it's been an interesting time. We've ended up with this piece of news today, that apparently mouthwash is able to kill COVID-19 within 30 seconds. Yay! Oh. And I have already realized it shows my bias. Because when Donald Trump said, the bleach will get rid of it in 1 minute. And straight away I was there going, it's all rubbish. Oh, it's not even science. Oh, you're an idiot. But as soon as they're saying use more mouthwash, I'm spending the day going, don't even check. Don't even Google it to see if it's just use some more mouthwash. Because if more people had better breath, this COVID could be worth it. If there's one thing that I want the world to have, it's a better breath. I heard a woman being interviewed about why she doesn't like wearing a mask, and she said it's because it means she can smell her breath. If you're in that situation, don't take your mask off and make your breath the rest of the world's problem. Fix your breath. But anyway, that's one piece of the news. There's also this story that Donald Trump talked about this vaccine, this Moderna one. Mm-hmm. There's another vaccine just announced, this time by Moderna, for those great historians, quote marks, weird. Please remember that these great discoveries, which will end the China plague, all took place on my watch. So what? I mean, no one ever thanks the Prime Minister who was in charge when the television was invented. You were just randomly there at the time. Stop taking science as credit. That's like saying that the greatest invention ever was created by Ugg. Ugg wasn't the one who invented the wheel. Ugg was simply the most brutal of alpha males in that tribe at the time. So don't be giving me any of that crap, Donald. But then, it turns out there is a hero when it comes to vaccines. It's Dolly Parton.
Hey.
I never thought this would happen, but somehow Dolly Parton ended up trending on Twitter today. She partly funded, she gave $1 million to the Moderna research, and it's turn into a vaccine. Dolly Parton has effectively helped to save the world. I bet Jolene is laughing on the other side of her face now. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And what I love is that she just gave the money to research, and researchers solve the problem. And that explains why, as a former scientist, because they're my people. Scientists are my people, right? I used to be a chemist. I used to work in labs. And that's why every day on the way into work, we'd always sing this. Stumble out of bed and go to the laboratory, make myself a drug that's not a suppository, and do some work that might save a life. In the blind trials, the drugs are pumping. Out on the streets, infection rates are jumping. But folks like me are in the labs from 9 to 5. Researching 9 to 5. What a way to make a vaccine. It's not made of bleach, but there is a little Listerine. Let's just hope it works more than the test and track. 'Cause I'm okay if we don't give it to anti-vaxxers. 9 to 5 to make a drug that could save you from this nasty bug. An anti-masker probably gave you. We have PhDs, but Trump wants to take the credit. COVID tried to make him ill. Maybe we should have let it. There we go. I mean, I am willing to admit that is one of the creepiest looking things I've ever filmed for this.
Yep.
It's a good idea when it started, but
I mean, it's just, I'm gonna have nightmares of people's faces tonight. It's the way you're all smiling.
Yeah.
And I mean, how long did that take you?
Not long, because you know how busy I've been today. So I got back from a run. I did the song earlier, went for a run on the way back, thought, I reckon I could edit my face into the cover for that song, and then had one shot to do it. So actually, if you go back and watch it again, I'm sweating like a pig during all of that because I've just come back from a run. And
working 9 to 5.
Yeah, I had no idea it would look so creepy, seeing all of my faces just...
That's weird. Are you going to TikTok that?
I mean, I guess that looks I think that's what the young people do. I managed to put subtitles on it as well.
I know,
do
that's
those manually.
I don't know. I feel really kind of uncomfortable now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
I mean, if anyone wants to see it again, it'll be on social media somewhere. If you can stomach that imagery.
I used to actually quite like Dolly Parton music. Now, well,
Chris Curling says multi-level and harmonic method. I mean, harmonic's a bit of a stretch, but there's a lot of multi-Steve's face in that.
There's some tuning in there that you did, whatever those devices are. Let's see, what else have we got here? Yeah, feel free to jump your chats in there. What do you think? Was that the creepiest thing you've ever seen Steve do? I'm going to go with yes. It says, there's Anthony's got some advice about talking to the camera positions. It's always the thirds rule.
All right. It's harder for us to do the thirds rule when there are two of us.
Yeah. That's tricky, but whatever. When the Pfizer vaccine said vaccine was 90% effective, they knew they'd be up against some stiff opposition.
Nice.
I think that's in reference to the old blue pills. Yep. You know more about this than I do, Steve.
Only by watching The Matrix. That's the director's cut of The Matrix where he takes the blue pill instead and just has a boner.
The other one, yeah.
Mark says, have you got the Post-it notes yet? What were the Post-it notes for?
Oh, because he contributed money to us to get us Post-it notes. And we invested in those, didn't we, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
These ones, which I can't show you the front of because I've actually got stuff written on it from today's show.
They're not the same ones that we had before. But yeah, thank you, Mark. We definitely bought some Post-it notes. What else? We say
Chris says football manager and players will always have the vaccine that works a minimum of 110%. Yeah, because they always want people to give 110% and thereby fail GCSE maths. Exquisite Tenderness says Ugg looks like Trump's dad.
Yep, I think he does.
Yep.
Ugg there. I think blaming it on Ugg's a bit unfortunate there. And let's see. And guests on Jeremy Kyle would have vaccines that were 1,000% effective. Subject to lie detector. Very nice.
Okay, we can keep plowing through more of these messages. Your singing is as good as mine on my YouTube video, Ronnie Cannon Sings, says Utah, Utah. It wasn't my finest day for singing. Go back and watch the clip where I did opera. That actually, I think, was all right. So before we start judging me for not being able to sing, it is true.
I like Samuel's comment. We'll need a new vaccine when that Dolly Parton clip goes viral. I agree with you there on that one, Samuel. Let's see. Anything else? Someone says that we bought crack with Mark's money. If he'd given us that much money, we sure wouldn't be here.
We'd be enjoying the show more than we are.
I don't know what the going rate for crack is. If you know, DM me.
Yep. If you want to buy us some crack, you can support the comics Crack Habit by going to ko-fi.com/comic solving problems.
Or our other site, crackfee.com, where you can contribute whatever you feel like there. There we go. So
problems.
Problem time.
What do you got for us?
Let's see. What do we got here? We've talked a lot about U.S. elections, Steve, but this is a problem that's more important than the Electoral College.
How is that?
It's a big question. What is more important? We've got the standard Electoral College that we've talked about a lot over the last few weeks. We've got that here. Have a look at that. 306. Sweet 306 to 232. That's pretty much called there. That's the normal one. We've looked at that a lot. We've talked about it plenty. Everybody's seen that till the cows come home. Get rid of that one, Steve. That's not what matters. And I realized that when I saw what this is the Erect-oral College. When I saw this headline. Pornhub has released top porn searches per state during election week. So get rid of that Electoral College. This is what really matters. They basically went through and they looked at the searches by state of what people were looking at on Pornhub. A regular friend of the show, big fans of Pornhub, aren't we, Steve?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Yep. Mm-hmm. And this is what they found out. They were collecting data on a per state basis. So they've looked here. You can see, it's probably hard to see on the screen, but they basically see some of the things. If you've got kids watching, maybe take a little commercial break. Different states are looking at different things. You've got some kind of standards that are there. You've got Tennessee. The most common phrase was granny. Not surprised.
Yeah, that's cool.
Seen some of those grannies. Nevada, a little self-obsessed there. Just Vegas. That's what they're looking at. So Vegas porn while you're in Nevada. Fair enough. There's some that I did have to do some Googling on. This is definitely a job that takes commitment and research.
Oh, yeah.
In Illinois, the most common search was throt. You know what that is, Steve?
No. Is that the one in the top corner? Yeah, I saw that word and I had no idea what it means.
Yep. Intensive research was required this afternoon, and it means that hoe over there. So it's a little bit misogynistic. I'm a little bit disappointed in you, Illinois.
What's the over there bit, though? I mean...
Even though I just said Illinois. Illinois. I've been gone a long time. That hoe over there. Yeah, because you don't want a hoe near you because that's probably a family member.
Yeah.
So you're going for the hoe over there. Kentucky, the most common search was Among Us, which that's an online video game that I think younger people are playing. So that's not good, although it is Kentucky.
So's Fortnite, which I see, which is New Mexico down the bottom.
Yeah, Fortnite was New Mexico. To be fair, there's not much to actually do in New Mexico. I've got family from there. Oregon, succubus.
That's pretty fancy. That's...
Do you know what a succubus is?
A mythical creature which drains a man of his energy, the opposite to an incubus, which goes in a lady.
You know way more about that than I thought. Yes. Otherwise, you can take succubus or you can replace it with Melania. It's fine there. Florida, which in the Electoral College went for Trump, also in the porn category went for Trump. Which I think actually might be reflective of a lot of British holidaymakers who were there who were just into fart sex.
Oh, no.
That's a thing. Arizona is keeping it real with Navajo, which is, that's nice. Native American porn. Yeah. I think that's nice.
Well,
they did that.
I have some reservations.
Hey? Oh, God. 9 to 5. Can't get out of my mouth. North Dakota, we've talked a lot about the difference between North and South Dakota. North Dakota, it's North Dakota because their key phrase was pumpkin.
Fair enough. Okay, seasonal.
Now, yeah, but I thought, all right, was that some sort of like code thing like throt? Does it mean something else like a number of the other code things that are on here that you don't want to mention? Nope. Did some research, made the hard choice. went to Pornhub, typed in pumpkin, it is actual pumpkin fucking.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I tell you what, no wonder the faces on the front of them look terrified.
I think you want them to still be. You don't want them to have been dug out.
Oh, dearie me.
That's so slimy. Anyway, Washington, D.C. was vote, which is fair enough because, you're going to get screwed by the politicians anyway.
Right.
And the last one I thought was great was Alaska, which was No Nut November.
It is
Are you
cold.
familiar with No Nut November, Steve?
No, if it's in Alaska, is it something to do with the temperature? Do
It's
they
30
retract?
days where men are asked not to ejaculate. Their women in Alaska are used to not having orgasms because they're with the Alaskan men. But 30 days without ejaculation.
Why would you be on Pornhub? That seems like the wrong place to search for it. You want to go to like christianannoyinglecture.com or something.
Yeah. No masturbation, and crucially, because it is Alaska, no moose fucking.
Ah, okay.
That's the key thing.
That
so,
is.
there we go.
Can I just check? My favourite, I think I'm seeing, because it's small on my screen, but I think that's Mississippi. Are they simply just typing the word porn wrong? Is that what that is? They can't spell porn.
They've gone to Pornhub and they've typed in PRON.
I really want, why aren't I finding any of the porn? I don't understand.
It is one of the least educated states
They should not
in the
be allowed
country.
to vote. Unbelievable. What else looks good on there as well?
Oh,
No, that's about it, really.
Tushy in Colorado. I quite like that. That's quite sweet. I couldn't figure out what 808 meant for Hawaii. I don't know if that's the area code in Hawaii for the phone numbers. I don't know if there's a section. I did look for 808 sexually.
Of course you did.
It's over on the left-hand side next to Tushy in Colorado. So I don't. If any of our viewers know what 808 is, don't send us pictures. No. Beware.
So some of the messages coming through. Where's the one? I think it's just moved up. Navman said, Kansas are fans of Roy Chubby Brown. Who knew?
Connecticut and Wedgie. Yep. How old are they? 12? Let's hope not. If they're on Pornhub, that would be inappropriate.
Anthony wants to know, what is swag porn? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, is that kind of like, is that a Jersey Shore thing? I don't know. What state was swag? California. Oh, yeah. That's going to be Beverly Hills.
Yeah. So it's more just about the bling. Okay.
It's about the bling. Yeah.
Well,
Delaware was actually election.
And is that Utah that actually searched for Mormon porn?
Where's Utah? Yes. Yep. Mormon porn. What? Have you looked at Mormon porn?
I've never seen it. The closest thing I've seen to it is the weird Al Yankovic version of Gangster's Paradise, which is Amish Paradise.
Okay.
That's as close as I get to it in terms of strange things that happen in America. And it might not be based on reality, given that it was a weird Al Yankovic one.
Well, no, if there's anything truer. I mean, to be fair, you should send him your 9 to 5 because that is weird. Weird Al levels. Yeah. Well done there.
It's certainly weird. Mark says apparently 808 is an American term for butt. But butt is also an American term because we don't say that over here. The correct way to address someone's butt in England is to say posterior.
Not bum.
My dear, I find you have a delightful posterior.
Yeah. Someone's just giving us a laughy face, which is very nice. Thank you, exquisite tenderness. I don't know what you were laughing at, but that is the idea.
I'll take some of that. Also, some other messages coming through. We'll pop these up on screen if you want to interact. Paul says, oh my, that's a cursed video segment. What? The one with 4 pictures of my face singing along to a Dolly Parton song, which is apparently for some reason terrifying.
It was terrifying. It was scary. What else? So we missed any other comments there? Please join us on YouTube. That's where a lot of people are commenting and so on. And if you're enjoying our description of the state's bisexual preference, buy us a drink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, I wonder where you were going with that sentence. If you're enjoying our description of the state's bisexual preference, what is wrong with you?
Well, no. These are our people. Foot job. Anyway, I'll stop looking at the map.
Lynn says, wow, Utah, how terribly predictable. I don't think they're watching, though. Otherwise, I totally agree. It's a tech speak term. Think about the O. Oh, dear. Still, why have you got a fold in your...
I don't understand.
Someone needs to do some squats.
I'm just thinking about those pumpkins. Those poor pumpkins.
Anthony says, am I the only person who thinks, I think this is, that it's fun that Massachusetts is the state that looks like it is sitting on itself is into face sitting? Wow. Imagine trying to work out how to face it yourself, which actually would require yoga, which I believe it was, which is the one that's...
Yoga Pants.
Yoga Pants.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoga Pants.
Not that I have these all memorized now. But...
Well, if you would like to comment on that, you can get involved on the comment boards. Here we are. Wherever you're watching, you can get to the YouTube one as well. Get yourself messaging there. And if you're enjoying the show, chuck some money in the pot. It would be appreciated. But I have another problem to try and deal with. It is the problem of Boris's health. Yes, for those who don't know, Boris Johnson, the UK Prime Minister, and Wurzel Gummidge, if he were born into money, has had a bit of a tricky time. He's had to self-isolate again for the coronavirus. Now, the good news is he's had it before, he's totally healthy, and he's taken a test and it says it's negative, which means I think there has never been a better time to take the piss out of someone for being ill, and you'll get away with it. Well, we're not going to be on the wrong side of history with this, wrong. Because when it was first announced, when he first had the COVID, it was difficult for people like us. We couldn't take the mickey in case he died of it. And I looked within myself and I thought, Steve, don't mock when someone's ill. He's in hospital. He's a human. And it's not just about him. He had at least one other pregnant woman waiting for him. So I thought, dig deep, Steve, and be the better man. And I did, and I wished him well. And then very shortly afterwards in the news... we heard that Harvey Weinstein had got coronavirus. And I was like, come on, stop testing me. I'm not that good a guy. And then not too long ago, we heard that Peter Sutcliffe had it. And I think everyone was on the side of COVID. It was really weird how that ended up. But, no one's complaining. But, so here we are. Boris Johnson, he's got to self-isolate and he released a video. He's not the first blonde to spend a lockdown making videos for the internet. But the difference is this one is not on OnlyFans. And he said...
Hi folks, the good news is that NHS Test and Trace is working ever more efficiently. The bad news is that they pinged me and I've got to self-isolate.
Well, you say bad news. It's pretty good news for Carrie Simmons, who stands a chance of knowing where you are now. You see, I think she might be the one who pinged it. Because, again, for those who don't know, if you're not from the UK, our Prime Minister has the reputation where normally if someone he spent some time with gets in touch and says, I took a test and it's positive, he starts writing a cheque for Harley Street. So it's an interesting situation for him. Anyway, in the video, he said this.
Because somebody I was in contact with a few days ago has developed COVID.
And here's a picture of the person he was with. You might not... Like, quick test, Eric. Do you know who that is?
Boris Johnson.
Yeah, on the other one.
Dude who looks like he's on parole.
It's got that look of a riddle. You know, there are two men. One always tells a lie, and so does the other one. Right? No, this is Lee. This is Conservative MP Lee Anderson, who represents the Ashfield area. This is where I'm from, sitting in Ashfield.
There you go.
That's my MP.
He's your guy.
It turns out here that's why Boris has had to self-isolate because of the COVID, not just because he was near someone from Ashfield. Otherwise, you'd be in trouble, Eric. It's from my home. This is the most important thing that where I'm from has ever done politically. It's the biggest impact Ashfield has ever had. It's made Boris Johnson stay indoors for a bit. In the video, he said this.
And it doesn't matter that we were all doing social distancing.
Doesn't matter, we're all doing social distancing. I remember that picture. Let's just go back to the picture. Doing social distancing. It's difficult to tell in a picture. But we were all told, if you want to know how to measure 2 meters, footballer Peter Crouch is approximately 2 meters tall. So I took a picture of Peter Crouch and I've laid it in the gap between them. And I'd say that doesn't look like, perspective-wise, he would be anywhere near where they're stood. That is clearly not 2 meters. Anyway,
no one knows what a meter is.
Top scientists. Know. Peter Crouch knows, and Peter Crouch is 6 foot something or other, and that gap is clearly not 6 foot something or other for the American audience.
It's tiny.
Boris Johnson carried on saying,
"Doesn't matter that I'm fit as a butcher's dog."
Yeah, that phrase raised a few eyebrows. He's as fit as a butcher's dog. I looked into it, and this is the butcher's dog. So. Yep, it makes sense. Boris Johnson continued.
We've got to interrupt the spread of the disease, and one of the ways we can do that now is by self-isolating for 14 days when you get contacted by NHS Test and Trace.
It's a bit easier to do that, though, when you can very easily work from home because your job gives you 2 properties. For the rest of us who are staying at home because there's a lockdown on and have lost our stand-up careers, maybe it's not as much fun watching you go, I'll do it and it'll be absolutely splendid. Of course it is. It's easy for you. And he wraps up with a message that hopefully will help to save lives.
Don't forget, hands, face, space.
Hands, face, space. I mean, I can't see hands. Face and space, I don't... Do you know what? Because I'm nice, I'll fix that for you, Boris. There it is. That's how you do that.
Nice.
And so now, hopefully, I can get a job as Dominic Cummings' replacement. So, how do we solve the problem? I don't think he's got a problem, but do you know what's really weird? I mean, people might be talking about this in the message boards, that footballers can get tests at the drop of a hat to make sure they're ready to play for the next game. And yet our Prime Minister, I'll just take a fortnight off.
He looks so happy, though, in that whole video. He's like, I've got quarantine. It's not like, because there's a massive deadline in the Brexit negotiations, like in the next 2 days. So, I guess who's going to do that now?
No.
Dominic Cummings is free.
He gets to blame it on the COVIDs. That's what it's all
blame
about.
it on the COVIDs. Blame it on the COVID. See, I can do song riffs as well instead of the rain.
Yeah.
But
Right.
only one of my faces. Right. Let's see. Oh, somebody going back to your Dolly Parton comment here. You'll be releasing a Dolly Parton song album. You could sing her song about Kent down from Dover.
Oh, yeah. I could still do that.
You could do that. Did she sing a song that's actually?
I've not heard that one. I
don't know
basically
either.
the
Look at the back catalogue.
The only 2 songs I know by Dolly Parton are Jolene and 9 to 5, and they both got a reference tonight. I'm throwing everything I got at this. I am not holding back on material, don't you worry. Mark says, QI fact. When they talk about being fit as a butcher's dog, the dog would have been fed on scraps and offal from the butcher's shop. In other words, he's been eating. Better than school children, though. Good point. Well made. Solid.
I'm glad I couldn't see the B. I just saw B ... Yes. Well, in this country, it's not hard to eat better than school children because they don't get to eat.
Yeah.
There you go. So, we've got the Ko-fi link there if you'd like to get us a drink. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel because we are not eating like butcher's dogs, are we, Steve?
No, I'm not eating... Well, I'm eating dog, but I don't think it was from a butcher. So,
I wondered where Buddy was.
Got to keep my strength up. Got to try and do some of these songs.
Buddy?
Chris says 2 empty coffee pots on the table, probably high on caffeine. Is that what was getting them? And Mark says Johnson's been a super spreader for years. Well, that's a reputation, missus. Oof.
Yes, indeed. Right. Should we do our next problem?
Yeah, let's crack into the next problem. What we got?
Crack it. All right. Right. So, Steve, this is a common problem. I know we've all dealt with it. Many of our viewers have as well. What do you do when a meteor lands on your house?
I don't know.
Well, the first thing you need to know is hope that you know a buyer, because this is the headline. Basically, an Indonesian man, coffin maker no less, becomes an instant millionaire after $1.8 million space rock crashes through his roof. Sorry, I shouldn't have said meteor in the begin part. I thought it's a space rock. This is from the U.S. Sun, where apparently they don't think their readers are smart enough to know. I don't want one of them meteors falling on my house. Clearly it come from Mexico, because it's got some of the words in a space rock. Bring it on, motherfucker.
But then we've already discovered that even you don't like the word meter, and meteor is not that far away, so that's why they've gone for like space inch or
Totally
whatever,
different.
for a space yard.
Maybe an asteroid. Let me see if that's one of the things I can search on YouPorn. Yes. So this meteor fell on this guy's house. We actually have footage of the actual meteor crashing. There we go. That clears it up. That's why he got $1.8 million, because he was able to sell the baby.
Have we just
White babe.
have we just shown a young boy's dingle on the show?
No, that was no. It was not a.
Was that? You could see his.
It was free Superman. It's fine.
Was that actually in the film? An actual Todger?
Well, I did find that clip on. No.
Yeah, were you in Massachusetts when you were searching for it?
No, it's from the film.
Wow. I did not know we got to see his Smallville.
It's 1.8 million.
That's all the Superman penis puns I can think of. Kal-El, got nothing on that.
No, that's not the actual space rock. Here's the actual footage of the rock.
Halo guys. Ini ada jatuh dari langit, guys. Menimpa seng, guys.
Yeah. So you can see that, but the initial part of that clip, he was showing the rock in the ground, and then he was scanning up to see where it came through the roof. And I don't speak Indonesian, but I believe what he was saying is, look what that fucking rock did to my roof. Is the exact translated quote there. Because when it happened, he basically, in the story, he says the rock was quite hot to the touch in the ground. So he had his wife dig it out with a hoe.
Of course, yeah.
Because he's not going to touch it. It's hot rock. But I don't think he was as concerned about the rock, because most of the video that was on the article is about the roof, as you can see here. He's like, yeah, sure, there's a $1.8 million asteroid in the ground. But look what it did to my roof. I mean, yeah, that rock might be worth some money, and it's hot to the touch, and it's glowing like, kryptonite. But look at that roof. 1.8 million ain't gonna fix this fucking roof. It turns out that the rock, these space rocks are quite valuable. Some of them are 4.5 billion years old, and they contain some of the like the origins of life are in these rocks because they're coming from outside.
Are they? Really?
That's what the story in the Sun said. So it's true. Here's the actual rock itself. Because that's what you want to do when something falls out of the sky and is hot and you don't know what it is. You want to just hold it in your hand. Like, oh, I'm sure this is fine. I mean, kryptonite never hurt Superman.
Yeah, it picks up a space rock and now he can move things with his mind. So that's how he'll fix the roof.
That's how he got that $1.8 million. He sold the white boy. That's what he did. Sell the white baby. I'm telling you. Cha-ching.
Yeah. Wow. That's one way to do it. Do you want to look at some of the messages on this?
Yeah.
Paul, spot on. Steve's career was suddenly flashing before his eyes for a minute there. Yes, and for the record, can we point out that was very much in an Erich McElroy section of the show. That the clips, don't get me wrong, I made one of the more terrifying clips I've ever made. I made me singing to a Dolly Parton song, which will give everyone, including me and Dolly Parton, nightmares. But I didn't pick a clip that had a young boy's Todger.
It's part of Superman.
Chris says, a Todger? Well, I do declare. We've gone very English now, haven't we? Well, I do declare a Todger on the internet.
What else have we got here? The Indonesian you talked about sounded very blue-collar. Mooch, yes. He's a very blue-collar guy, which is a reference to Anthony Scaramucci, who's a blue-collar guy from New York that I talked to on my podcast. Blue-collar guy. That's what I'm wearing. Steve's got blue collar. I got blue collars in my stripes. You know what I'm talking about?
You're talking about a man who had a job for 11 days and has milked it better than we ever could. Hell yeah. Mark's got a theory as well about the names. Space Rock, 2 syllables, Trump supporters. Meteor, 3 syllables in one word, Biden supporters. That's that you can tell the difference. You can see what you're aiming for.
It is in the sun, so that can explain it there. Cool. Is there anything else?
Was it one of Trump's gallstones? It's old enough. Oh, zing.
Yeah, that's going to be bad. He'd be lucky to get to Indonesia by the time he's done.
The bishop says this is turning into a porn channel. I don't know if that was a message because we saw Clark Kent's ding-a-ling, which is... Yeah. Clark Kent's ding-a-ling actually sounds like... I don't know, like a prog rock band. I don't know where. That's a sentence that should never be used, but also would be a great Wi-Fi password.
Yeah, if it is turning into that kind of channel, you should definitely throw more money in the coffee because that costs extra. That kind of thing.
Perhaps Boris has a line to the US for his adrenochrome.
What?
Adrenochrome. You've done one on me there.
Yeah. Do you know what that means?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
Adrenochrome? It's just, I'm giving it all the attempts, but it's not making...
We'll Google it.
It was probably one of the things that New York searched for or something. And yeah, so I think we're up to date with messages, although I must admit, I've not checked Twitter. Did you do any Twitters during the show?
Twitters, I don't know, let me see. Let me have a look.
Because we put them on the screen.
I think I can't see. Oh, wait. No, there's other tweets. President saying things.
We got one tweet from no name, just an array of different emojis. Rack Penguin says, so we need to bath in mouthwash then? Yeah, why not? As long as you make sure some goes in your mouth. That's all I want from people, is more mouthwash in the mouth.
I think you must like the mask thing, because then you can't smell people. Well, yeah, you've got a mask on, you can't smell them, and they've got masks on. It's covering your sense of smell, and then they're covered up. So this is a dream thing for you.
This is like double bagging.
That bat.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Hopefully, when we've dealt with this pandemic, let's just still keep the masks, because people have bad breath. Like, it's everywhere. I've got a really good sense of smell, and it is like torture for me. And so it's really good to make sure that I'm not smelling anyone's bad breath for ages. Hey, yep, win-win.
Double bagging, is that a sexual thing as well?
It is.
I think that's the state of Georgia.
Do you know of double bagging? It's a terribly un-PC reference, but it's where one would describe someone as being a double bagger. That if one were having sexual relations with this person, you would require two bags. One to put over their head so you didn't have to look at them, and one to put over your head in case their bag fell off.
I thought it was something you put on your ding-a-ling.
No, apparently you don't put anything on it, even when you're going to film Superman, and then you get some web show cancelled in the year 2020 because you can't go around showing ding-a-lings on the internet.
It's on YouTube.
That doesn't make it right. Have you seen some of the things on YouTube?
Don't worry, it had a lot more views than we get.
Yeah. Jack says, double bagging, which state? Was that the top search? Yeah, nice. You see now what we've done. You've made this show into a non-stop sexual reference show, and it was always going to happen.
Sorry about that. There we go. Oh, here, Mark got the definition of your adrenochrome, a component of several conspiracy theories, such as QAnon and the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, also from Wikipedia.
Wow.
There we go.
And you see, you can tell there's a difference between the standard of messages we're getting. Is double bagging the same as a Dutch blindfold? I don't know. I'm
going to check my 808 on that.
Well, thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the show and the weird things that we seem to bring, if you've enjoyed this final show of comic solving problems before we get cancelled for showing Clark Kent's dong, his super dong, then chuck some money in the pot. It would be very much appreciated. I had a lovely message today from someone. No, it was this week, an email this week saying that they were unemployed, so they couldn't afford to, but they offered help for some of the tech stuff. So that was really nice. Spread the show, the old links to all the clips and the shows, spread those around. That would be nice as well. But if you could spare some change, drop it in the pot, and it keeps this project afloat. Ko-fi.com/comic solving problems.
And subscribe to the YouTube channel. And when are we back, Steve?
What day is it today? Tuesday. We're doing another show Thursday at 9.
We hope.
Yeah, I'm sure. Unless, I mean, even I'm thinking I might report this show to the flipping censors. But
it's fine.
But well, we'll see. The good news is you can also subscribe to this as an audio-only podcast, and that's probably, if you're listening to that right now rather than having watched the web show, you did better. You had the better option out of everything, because what you did is you didn't see any of the nudity that was in today's show, and you just got the 9 to 5 song. You didn't get that weird thing that happened with the faces.
Yeah. So which was creepier, Steve? Superman or you?
I mean, I'm willing to point out it was the multiple my faces. Yep. I mean, I would play it again.
When you filmed it as well.
Oh yeah, definitely, because you only saw the face. I just got back from a run. How else do you run? And so I would play it again to play us out, but even I couldn't stomach watching that again. But there we go. So yeah, until Thursday 9 o'clock, I think we're sorted.
There you go. Thanks for watching. See you then.
Bye.